What's up everyone and welcome to the club. In today's video we're going to be drawing Meliodas from the 7 Deadly Sins. Let's get started in the center of our page with the eyebrows. So we start on the left side, we're going to draw an angled line. Starting on the left side, we're going to draw a straight line coming down and then in. Let's leave a gap in the center and draw the same thing over on the right. So we're going to line up the inside, draw a straight angled line going up and then out. From the inside, we're going to draw a short angled line going up and out towards the sides. Then we'll connect the inside to the outside with a straight line. We're going to taper this, going up and then out. Now we're going to tuck the eyes in underneath the eyebrows. So it's a half circle, starting from the outside on the left, curve around towards the bottom, and then we'll just pull that up on the inside, leaving a little overlap on the inside of the brow. Let's do the same thing on the right. Now I'm going to add a small highlight circle on the left side of each eye. So up against the edge of the eye, I'm drawing a circle. I'm going to line this up on the right and do the same thing. So this is going to get tucked in underneath the eyebrow. Start here, curving around, and then up. I'm going to add a smaller circle in the center of the eye for the pupil. So we're going to tuck this in behind the highlight. So start down here, curve around, up underneath the eyebrow, and just close this off on the top. Do the same thing on the right. And then we'll fill the pupils in black. Now we want to add the outside edge of the eyelid. So from the eye we step out, we curve out, and then just pull that in. Just follow the same curve of the eye. Now we're going to move to the center and draw the nose. Let's start with the bottom edge first. Starting on the left, we'll curve down and then up. Now we're going to move up and draw a short curve in the opposite direction for the bridge of the nose. And then from the nose, we're going to step down and draw a curve from left to right, going up and then down for the mouth. Now from the mouth, we want to step down, draw a short line going across for the lower lip. Now I'm going to move back up and draw in the hair bangs. In the center, we'll step up. We'll start with a point. From this point, I want to curve down and out towards the left eye, to right about there. Now I'm just going to taper this out and then pull that back in. So we're going out towards the right, rounding it out, and then pulling that in. Let's go over towards the left, curve out. Now I'm just going to tuck this in behind that center line. From the top of the line on the left, we're going to step down, curve out, and then down towards the eyebrow. Line this up on the right. We'll do the same thing. And then from the bottom, we're going to taper this out and then up. Go out. I'm just going to hook that back up and in on both sides. Now we're going to curl the hair around the eyes. Starting about halfway down this curve, go around the eyebrow, down and then in. Let's do the same thing on the right. Curving around the eyebrow and then in. And then again, from the bottom, we're just going to taper this out, up, and then in. Now before we go any further with the hair, let's draw the lower part of the head. From the bottom point of the hair, we draw a curve coming down and then in towards the jaw. And then from the jaw, we're going to come down and in towards a rounded chin. So round out the jaw, come down, and in just underneath the mouth. We're going to round out the chin, curve up and out towards the right jaw. Now let's move back up. Along the side of the hair, curve out and then up. Line this up on the right side and do the same thing. Curving out and then up. And then from the tip, we're going to taper this in and up. Now right here, we just want to curve this back in along the top of the head. Do the same thing on the right. Curving in and up. We'll round this out and then just pull that back in. Now we're going to go back down, curve out, and then up. Line this up on the right. and do the same thing. And from here, again, we're going to curve in, and then up. Now I just want to round out the top of the head and then come down in the center. Curve around and then right in towards the middle. Now we're going to take this curve and flip it over on the right. So let's start in the center. Start by curving up and then down. I'm going to curve in the opposite direction towards the tip of the hair. Let's add those two curls along the top of the head. Starting in the center, we curve up and out towards the left and pull that back down. Now I just want to taper this so it gets thicker in the center and then back down towards that center point. Let's draw a shorter one over on the right side. Starting from the middle, we'll curve up and then out, and we'll taper that back in towards the middle. Let's add some more hair along the side of the head. Starting up here, we curve down and then out, and we'll taper that back in towards the side of the head. Curving down and then back up. Now I just want to add the tips of the earlobe along the side. So from the hair, we're going to step down, just going to curve out and then up underneath the hair. Now we're going to move down and draw on the sides of the body. Over on the left side, underneath the head, we're going to curve out and then down towards the left hip, go over towards the right, and do the same thing, towards the same height. And then from the hip, we're going to draw two short angled lines coming down and in. And then we're going to go up and in towards the middle. And then we're going to add a strap curving across the body. Let's start at the top right, curve down, and then out towards the left hip. And then from the left hip, we're going to step up. We're just going to follow that same curve going up to right about here. Now I'm just going to flatten this off, drawing a straight angle line coming down towards that bottom line. Step down and draw that twice. Let's draw on the top of the strap. From here, we're just going to angle up and in underneath the head. Then we're going to add a simple buckle along the bottom. We draw two angled lines. Now over on the left, we draw two small black dots. Let's go back to the center of the vest. Draw a short line going up. Now I'm going to curve the outside of the vest going out and up underneath the head. So let's start with the left side. Out underneath the strap, continue along the top, and then up underneath the head. Do the same thing on the right. Curving out and then up underneath the strap. Let's move to the center just on top of the strap. We're going to angle up and out towards the left, and then the right. And then we'll add in the collar on the left side. We're going to angle down and out, and back up underneath the head. Now we're going to see the tie along the top and just underneath the strap. So let's step out underneath the collar. Just going to follow that same angle line coming down toward the top of the strap. Now at the bottom, we draw two angled lines, one on the left and one on the right. Let's continue working down with the legs. In the center, we're going to step down, draw a curve from left to right, going up and then down. Now I'm going to leave a small gap in the center. We go to the left side. I'm going to curve out and down towards the left, go to the right, and do the same thing. Let's round out the bottom of the pant. Curve down and then up on both sides. Now I'm going to move back up to the hip and round out the side of the leg. Let's start on the left hip, curve out, and just pull that in. Now from the bottom corners of the pant, we're going to draw two straight lines coming down on either side of the leg. Now I'm going to overlap the edge of the boot cuff on top of the leg. So we're going to step out, curve down, and then in. Do the same thing on the right, curving down, and then out. And then we'll wrap the boot around the leg. Starting back on the left, we're going to curve up and in behind the leg, go in the opposite direction along the inside. Let's move to the inside of the cuff. I'm going to curve out and then down towards the heel on both sides. And we're going to round out the bottom of the feet. Let's start from the heel. I'm going to curve down and then back up towards the toe. Now let's draw on the top of the foot. Starting from the toe, we're going to draw almost like a half circle, curving up. And we're going to bend this down, aiming towards the heel. We're going to stop right about there. Do the same thing on the right, curving up and then down. Now back along the top outside of the cuff, draw a straight angle line coming down and in on top of the foot. Now let's add a trim. On top of the foot, we're going to angle down and out, step in, draw that same angle line. Do the same thing over on the right. Now we're going to move back up and draw on the arms. We're going to start halfway down the side of the body. So right here, we're going to curve out and down towards the wrist. Line this up on the right and do the same thing. Now back on the left, let's start with the thumb. We draw a small half circle, curving in and then back out. At the end of the thumb, I'm going to add a bracket. Let's do the same thing on the right side. Starting with the thumb, and then we'll add a bracket. And to go back to the left side, we're going to add 3 fingers. We start at the bottom curve of the thumb, we're going to come down and then up around the bracket. Let's add 2 more fingers. Stepping down, curve down and up the second finger. Now the third finger, we'll start out here, we're going to curve around the arm and up underneath the head. We'll go around, and we're just going to pull that up and then in. Let's do the same thing on the right side. Now let's add the cuff of the sleeve. Starting from the wrist, we curve down and then back up towards the outside of the arm. Now we're going to add a simple version of the sword handle over on top of the right shoulder. So right here, we're going to add a small half circle, curving out and then back in. And then from that half circle, we'll draw a straight angled line going up and out towards the end of the sword. Now let's round this out, curving around and then in. Now I'm going to pull this line coming in towards a half circle. I'm going to leave a little gap along the inside. And then from here I'm just going to follow that half circle going in behind the head. Now I'm going to surround the right side with a series of spikes. So we start with a curve, draw a point, do this 2 times, and then pull this back in behind the arm. Now let's go back to the top. We step out, draw the same angle line going up to right about there. We draw another bump, going around and then in, and then come straight back in behind the head. We'll add a little detail to the end of the sword. Start out here, draw a half oval. I'm just going to add a zigzag across, going down and then up. Add a small black dot on the end. And then the last thing we want to do is add a little bit more hair on the back side of the head. So we start on the outside of the ear. Start by curving down and then in. We'll taper that back up and in behind the head. We want to do the same thing over on the right side, but we're going to go in behind the sword. So we'll start at the top of the ear, curve down and in behind the sword. Continue down along the bottom. Now I'm just going to taper that back up. I'm just going to poke this in between and in behind the head. And that's pretty much it. There's Meliodas from the 7 Deadly Sins. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Make sure you subscribe and send me your requests in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.